to go over. So another thing that I learned too.
Yeah.
Learning every day. Every day I'm learning. Oh.
Every day you're hustling.
Every day I'm hustling. We are live. Absolutely live and dialed, folks. Live and dialed. What's up, Truck Golfer? Good evening, lads. Good evening to you, sir. God, that's a little loud, no?
I know. I was just trying to test because, I'm going to make like a lot of
I don't have...
noises
Oh, I do have the
and
safety
shit.
on, yeah.
Fresh. I'm drinking a C4 over here.
We're going to go...
Need a C4 sponsorship.
Hey, Trot, can you hear us okay? And actually here, we're going to do a silent mode. Here we are. We are here. We are live. We're going to get started here in just a second. We sound beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
We can hear, says Dylan Vaudrey. We got a lot of people just chiming in here. Absolutely love that. We got some new lighting
You
going
see the
on.
visual, guys? I mean, do we look more like real people versus AI-enhanced burn victims?
Your man here, which your man is me, and Butsy. But I did a lot of research over lighting, and we're dialed. Absolutely dialed right now. I feel like this lighting is making me feel like we're...
Like kind of some sort of way, dude.
Yeah. Like, all of a sudden. This is great. But let's give it a moment of silence. Another thing that I know from my audio engineers is that we need a moment of silence so that we can get rid of background noise. That's something I did last week, and it sounded great. So here we go. We're just going to... Great. Okay, there we go. Fantastic stuff. Love that for us. So we're going to get started here in just a second. But before we do, I got to have my first sip of whiskey. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Butsy's going to get out one last text here before we get going. And I need to pull up the show notes. While I like the mic right here, I got to move it just slightly away.
Is it...
Because...
We can't wear those, like, stupid-looking hat mics for these things, right?
Hat mics?
Like the creators wear, like, yeah, so now I'm a YouTube golfer. I graduated, and now I wear a fluffy mic on my hat.
So, no, not for this. But what I will tell you is I did buy us, for golf course action, those mics.
But we're not going to wear them on our hats like that, right?
Not for this. Maybe if we do something live, putting world, maybe something like that.
What course are we at tonight? This is
Do you know?
this is the this is Paris.
It is.
Yeah, I played here.
Did you?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, right after the Ryder Cup. In,
No shit.
2000. What was it? 18.
We never talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at LIV Golf National.
Complete bullshit. I just skimmed through the notes. I definitely haven't played here.
You actually got me. I thought you were like on something.
To tell you about a great trip. Hanging out while you landed.
All right, let's get it rolling. What do you think? You ready to get it dialed?
Yeah, let's roll. Sorry, I gotta get dialed in here, dude.
Okay, get dialed. Get dialed.
Trying to bottle my body.
Yeah, that was you knocked out the mic on that one.
Doing what?
I don't know.
Just talk. Dude.
I love like the first 5 minutes we just ham it up. Run PMC is here, longtime listener. Great to have you. So we're gonna bump it up to 48 there on the gainer, on the good old gainer. So, folks, we've got an awesome episode, but we're gonna count it down in just a little bit. Chad Gamblin is we're live, but
man, we fucking live, Chad.
Sure are. And man, we are dialed in with this lighting.
It's good, dude. I can't get over
man.
it. It's really good.
It is so good. Oh no.
Not a lot of room in here though.
No, we're a little bit closer up.
Like a water yak at a China shop.
But now we're in Paris. So we're over in Paris, and we're here for the Olympics. Once again, oui, PP. our taxi driver. It's another one that got us here. Do you remember what he said?
No.
No.
No. I'm trying to think of an accent for this one. I just. This stink is muffy like fur of muff.
Yeah. So he dropped us off here, which is nice.
What's it called?
LIV Golf National.
LIV Golf National.
So, yeah. You ready to get dialed and get in here?
Man, get this mother popping, man.
Let's fucking go. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. Co-host Butsy is here tonight. We're in Le National Golf Club.
Hey.
Oui, PP. And, folks, we've got an awesome show for you tonight because it only happens, what's the Olympics? Well, once every 4 years. It's once every 2 for, like, going winter to summer, right?
I believe you're right about that. Yeah.
So, yeah, we got some Olympic shit going on tonight on this episode, but we're also going to recap the 3M Open, a.k.a. the Minnesota Open on the PGA Tour. We've got LIV Golf UK as a recap as well. And then, of course, the Swanie style segment, very big fan favorite. The audience absolutely loves it. And then we've got the 2024 Paris Olympics golf preview. It's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the best thing you've ever seen in your life. So here we go. Or here in your life, depending on if you're a podcast listener. Jesus, I just realized these headphones are so wide. I had to tighten them up. Had to get them tight. Nice and locked in there. So without further ado, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Swannies Golf. Folks, I'm rocking some USA gear right now. No collar. This is the one that they, it's got the little
Those are flip-flops.
Flip-flops on there,
Those are
yeah.
flip-flops.
America.
Yeah.
And just felt very American during this Olympic season. And you notice if you're watching, so it doesn't have a collar. It's got like that mock collar, but it's got 3 buttons and then some baby blue on the liner.
Yeah.
That's just something.
Touch of class.
It really is a touch of class.
Yeah.
You got to love it, and you love to see it. So thank you, Swannies, for decking us out. And, folks, make sure to utilize the promo code PullHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order at swannies.co. Now, we do want to give a quick announcement around the PPL. You want to start with anything there? The good old professional putting league, by the way, for those of you who are new here.
I'm just going to come out and say it. We didn't give you guys enough time to fully coordinate 2-man teams to commit to 5 weeks, at least 4 or 5 to qualify for the end game. So we thought we'd soften the blow a little bit, and we are going to do a skins game Thursday night. Get everybody acclimated. Everybody gets to know each other.
Little meet and greet.
Yeah, you're not dialed it. You don't have to pay some astronomical amount of money to come in up front. You just come, pay your green fee, pay your skins money, and we'll talk about it then. So that's Thursday at 8 p.m.
7:45.
7:45, and you still still get deals on booze if you do participate.
Yep.
But yeah, come on out. So we'll be there.
Yeah, just a little action there. I think what's the total of it? It's $35 for the greens fees and then $20 for the skin, right?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Come on out, folks. Let's have ourselves a night out there. Butsy and I will be there. We'll have those influencer mics on. We'll be out there amongst the crowd.
Yeah.
Have our camera guy with us, walking around, filming us. So we'll get some good content out there, and we look forward to our meet and greet with all of you. Now, one other thing that I completely forgot to mention, and I'm trying to remember what the hell it is. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what the hell I was going to add to this part of it. Oh, man.
I don't know how to help you with this one.
No, because this was a side thing that I was going to bring up on this episode outside of the PPL announcement. But let's get into it. If I remember, we'll dive right into it. But let's get into the 3M Open recap. And I do have to give a shout out to our guy Kyle over at Cart Barn Guys.
He called it.
He fucking called it.
And you can see he made sure to send me. There was that you
Did
that
he?
sent me the clip
No,
where
I didn't send a clip.
You read it off the chat. You say, Kyle Carpenter, guys, Jonathan Vegas. And I go,
Oh yeah, yeah.
fucking
No,
idiot.
I didn't send you the clip, but I was
He did.
literally laughing at that pick. And sure enough, golf is a crazy sport, man.
It is.
And I haven't really paid attention. I had no business laughing at the Jonathan Vegas pick because I haven't seen his game lately. Like I haven't really paid attention to where he's been finishing. He's kind of been off my radar. So
Well,
to
I
speak.
think that's why we laughed, is just because of that. Yeah. And it sounded like a joke of a pick just to say that.
I think he was joking though.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And then the guy, he puts
Then
a
he
lab
hits.
putter in the bag. And
he did. He had the link.
yeah.
The link putter,
He's got one of those.
the blade, and what's funny is he had like a 3.5, 4-footer to finish up and win the tournament. And sure enough, I saw the lab putter, and I'm just like, he's not missing this. No chance.
Yeah, and Kyle, you're right. Talked to him earlier. He did make the cut at the Arizona Open. I think he shot 300 a day.
Let's throw him up. So
Stayed in it.
yeah,
Leaders at 9.
So don't think Kyle will be joining us this evening because he made the cut at the Arizona Open.
We'll see. He may pop in here. I bet he's eating a frozen Hungry Man dinner right now,
That
getting
sounds
ready.
delicious.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old hungry man.
Oh,
So, that being said, Jonathan Vegas obviously wins at 17 under. He's battled back, and what's impressive is he's fought injuries throughout his entire career. Remember when he was kind of a name?
He was a big name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing things.
He was supposed to be like one of the guys that was up and coming, one of the young studs, a young superstar in the making, and sure enough, injuries just derailed his entire career up
Is
until
that
this
what
point.
happened to him?
Yeah, a lot of injuries. I believe he even had a medical exemption, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% positive on that, but he is back. I mean, after winning the 3M Open, he's back.
Well, we've talked about this on a number of occasions. Now, there's like this cycle on the PGA Tour where months go by and there's a few guys duking it out, and you got a guy like Scheffler. Obviously, he did something nobody's done for a while. But then that guy comes out of nowhere and either gets hot now and doesn't stay hot, or he comes back for 2 months and you see him. Are we going to see Vegas regularly now?
I think we are.
You think so?
I think he's back. I mean, and the lab putter obviously allowed him to make a lot of putts. So, guy's a ball striker out there. So, Jonathan Vegas, he is back. Wins with the lab putter. Runner up. And I really kind of felt bad for this kid, Max Grazerman, who played phenomenal. Ends up at 16 under. In that final round, he shot a 63 with a 30 on the back nine.
I have played with Max down in Florida when he was still on the Corn Ferry Tour. And I think I referred to him as Timu Rory McIlroy because he kind of looks like him a little bit. Yeah, kind of looks like him, but my God, he's a stick, dude.
He's great. I
He's a
mean,
stick.
great player. And the big thing with him was he was sitting around waiting to see if Jonathan Vegas was going to wrap it up and birdie that final hole, which he had 3 feet in order to win the golf tournament. And Max Grazerman starts playing ping pong. While instead of going out and warming up, he just starts playing ping pong because he knew it was over. So, Timu Rory, good old trot golfer, throws in there Timu Rory. I think that's going to be something that might get clipped right there.
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
The good old Timu Rory,
Yeah.
which you and I have been called the Make-A-Wish / Timu, Alex Jones, and Pat McAfee. So
Amongst other things, but yeah. Those were
those were solid. I like those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty well done there. Now, leaderboard rundown. Good old Cooch. Cooch comes out of nowhere and was playing really well this weekend. He finished T3 at -15. And then Maverick McNeely, which, I've followed Maverick McNeely for several years now. And Dottie Pepper actually brought up a really good point during the broadcast, which, big Dottie fan. I really like the analysis that she provides. But she said that Maverick, he's a guy who, when he finally breaks through for his first win, he's a guy that could go on a big run and just start listing off win after win.
Like we're talking about, right? Like he's going to show up and then he's going to stay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's been close before, but he's also a guy that comes. He was a Stanford guy, played at Stanford, and trains with Butch Harmon. I don't know if he's still with Butch, but he's been a longtime student of Butch Harmon, and that tells you something right there.
Yeah.
That if Butch is willing to give you the time, then he thinks you have a lot of game, and he has been a big Maverick McNeely fan for a long time. So watch out for Maverick McNeely. If he can pull one of these out, again, Dottie Pepper said it first. I'm not going to claim that I'm the one that, but I believe what Dottie Pepper is saying there with the fact that he could
rally off a few.
Yeah, he really could. He's got the game for it, that's for sure. Great player. And then fifth place was Taylor Pendrith at -14. Then we've got Kurt Kitayama, which we haven't heard much from him since his big breakthrough victory last year. He finished at -13 at T6, along with Patrick Fishburne and Sahith Theegala. Sahith wasn't feeling well on Sunday.
Good showing, though.
Yeah, very good showing. T9, we got your boy JJ Spawn.
I was going to say, Spawn was kind of fired up a little bit.
-12 for JJ. He was with KH Lee, sexiest man alive, and Matt Neesmith. So that rounds out your top 10. And let's move into some PGA Tour news, because maybe this was what I was going to mention in the upfront part of it, but I did add it to the notes here, that PGA Tour news, the tour has announced that it is making an investment. And actually, I don't know if the tour came out and fully announced this or not, but My Spy Golf had it. So give them a little bit of a shout out.
Golf Spy, yeah.
Yeah, and they said that the tour has announced the Creator Classic, a 16-player tournament taking place Wednesday, August 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, prior to the Tour Championship at East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta.
Nice.
Now, is this a sign of things to come with the help and direction of SSG?
We're going to see if there's enough YouTube personality to make that worth watching after we see the winner shoot 2 over par for the tournament, is what I think. Is it going to be enough to pull people in? I don't know.
I don't know either, but YouTube golf, it's an enigma for me. I don't fully get it because it has such a large audience base, and I'm just like, is it bigger than the PGA Tour? Is it bigger like Good, Bob Does Sports, like all of these different brands that are out there in terms of YouTube channels? And I just don't fully get it, I guess.
It's just a giant show about regular dudes. It's a contest to make the most relatable stuff possible. And I think as a result of that, you end up with something that mirrors adult Nickelodeon of golf.
Do you think this is stemmed from COVID and how many new people came into the game?
100%.
So,
yeah. And all of it's politically correct. I mean, you don't got too many guys that are really, how do I say this, putting out what really happens in a foursome of dudes on the weekend.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's, it's really plastic, and I'm not hating because they make a lot of money doing it, but if I had to say, that's why it's kind of.
And I've talked about this with PGA Tour caddies around when starting this podcast. It really was, hey, what really goes on in the locker room with these players and everything, and that's where it didn't match up to what the gentleman's game and what everything was all about. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this in the first place.
Yeah.
Is to allow the audience inside the ropes.
Yeah.
And start to let people know, hey, this isn't what real professional golf is. Like, this is like any other sport with like Michael Jordan trash talking the shit out of somebody and saying horrible things to them. Like, these are the things that go on.
Yeah.
In the locker room, and actually even more so when they go out and play their money games. So like the Texas crew of Jordan Spieth and others, like those guys go out and get after it, and they're talking shit.
Right.
And then you got Tiger Woods and all the guys out in Jupiter that are doing it, the guys here in Arizona, and all the guys talk a lot of shit when it comes to, and that's what people didn't really realize. They're like, oh, this is a gentleman's game.
Yeah, it doesn't see the light of day. You get 100 guys that look like they're, talking in church, and it's not reality.
Yeah, and back when I was a VP of sales for a golf simulator company, I was dealing with a lot of high-end individuals, right? So they would invite me to come out and play. The conversations that went on these golf courses is not what you're seeing on YouTube.
No.
I'm going to tell you right now.
No, you know.
Yeah.
No.
So Trot Golfer makes a good point. YouTube golf, you can watch at your convenience. Golf is life. I like that part to it. But here's the thing. That's why LIV Golf has been interesting to me. And one of the advantages it has, in my opinion, to the PGA Tour side is that you can watch LIV Golf anytime you want. You don't have to, because of the LIV Golf Plus app, you can catch up on that on a Monday. It's very difficult if I miss PGA Tour events on a weekend to catch up because I'm just watching highlights, which you don't want to sit there and just watch the highlights to get the real story about everything.
Right. Yeah, I know the publicist wouldn't allow it, but the Creator Open's great and all. I'd rather see like the top 16 guys that on tour that might actually go out on the weekend and take their shoes off, play barefoot, and drink 10 beers in a round. Like, I'd rather go watch like people that actually compete for a living wind down, and you get to see another side of people. I'd rather watch that. Like, but they're not going to show that. You know, it's a bad look. It's still, we're not there publicly, so YouTube kind of takes the.
Another good point by Trot. He says that when you played against Pat Perez, it just really shows you how amazing tour players really are.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That's what impresses me. A bunch of guys on YouTube don't. They don't do anything for me. I mean, I don't know. They do anything for you?
Anti-Liv. I'll tell you in a second. Anti-Liv said that you can rewatch the third round, 18th hole of Hatton 2, which he's referencing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The LIV Golf event that took place, and we'll get into that. Anti-Liv, don't you worry. We are going to dive into LIV Golf UK right after this. But one thing that I will say is I always heard, especially in college, because I had a couple South Africans on my college team that were good buddies with Tim Clark. And they used to say that going out and playing golf with Tim Clark, guy never missed a fairway.
Yeah.
And literally would go out and shoot low 60s every single time they would play with him. Now, did he go out on the PGA Tour and shoot in the low 60s every single time? No. Like, you would be Tiger Woods at that point if you were doing that. So there is something to when the pressure is off that these guys are just automatic.
They're incredible to go play, like Trot was saying, playing with even a guy like Pat, who was at the end. You know, he's in the moonlight stretch of his tour career and playing golf for a living, and even still, you go out and just absolutely blow your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the shots and, like you said, so the average guy out there that is playing on the weekend and gets to a point where he breaks par a couple times and he's thinking about giving it a run, you might want to save some money and find a way to go play with one of the real dudes out there before you do that, because they're really fucking good.
It is true, but there is an entertainment value to the YouTube crowd, and it's funny because I've actually been thinking, I'm like, you know, maybe I'm going to start a podcast, like another podcast, just around reviewing the YouTube golf scene.
You could.
I just think it would be interesting to like,
what would you
break
review?
it down. Just like anytime a new episode comes out. So like the Bryson Trump thing. Like you think of that, for instance.
Yeah.
And specifically, if you are looking at Trump and Bryson and that YouTube episode, how good Bryson played is exactly what we're talking about, by the way, to where it's just so ridiculous. And I actually like what Bryson's doing with the whole break 50 deal.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's not somebody that's out there breaking all of that down for an audience. And it's just, it's like when you're watching like Game of Thrones, for instance, like there's a podcast to it to where people are going to talk about that.
Is there?
So there are certain podcasts that could do quite well, which, by the way, this is what I was going to mention in the beginning, and I totally forgot. I wanted to wait until tonight. Do you know that our Open Championship preview episode that we did, we got over 60,000 listeners? That's
a record, right?
By the way, that's almost double as to our largest episode. So we've been in like that 30,000 range. and to get up over, I think right now it was like 67,000. I opened it up today, and I was just absolutely blown away. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, then we're doing all right. Carry on, Wayne.
We're doing
Party on.
So that was pretty awesome to see. And speaking of the Open Championship, let's get into LIV Golf UK, because I know that's why a lot of you are here right now. And let's absolutely get into this.
Chad, don't sneak that Stableford shit in here right now.
We've got an audience member in Chad Gambling.
That's Chad. Don't reply to that right now. He's trying to tickle a little Bessie here. We had a disagreement. Anyways, we'll get into it later.
Okay, we'll get into that once we get to the Q&A section of this episode at the very end with our live audience. Now, LIV Golf UK recap. Jon Rahm wins at 13 under, okay? What the hell was that? I feel like somebody just died in the corner.
You got something in your closet you're not telling me about?
Something might have fallen that I threw in there earlier.
Okay.
So that's fine. Segue. Jon Rahm. Okay. So Jon Rahm, I called Jon Rahm winning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie, I did. And sure enough, Trot Golfer throws that in there. Anybody pick a LIV winner this week? I sure did. So Jon Rahm also came out to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar on the party hole. So that was a pretty bold statement by John, and I really appreciated it. I called it on Friday. So their first round. If you're not familiar with LIV Golf, they start on Fridays. I actually had somebody on Twitter that was like, hey, appreciate your guys' podcast on LIV Golf. I'm going to learn about LIV Golf because I want to get into it. I want to get into the game of golf. And I'm going to listen to your... He's like... He actually commented and said that he's listened to a couple original ones, and he's figuring out the format and everything from the podcast. So that's pretty cool. Now, with that said, this is a dynamic on LIV Golf to where you just don't get this on the PGA Tour. Maybe you do if you're like Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, like best friends, and all of a sudden you beat your best friend, and your best friend loses on the last hole. Yeah. So, good old Terrell Hatton, who's been playing great, by the way. Terrell Hatton has really impressed me this year. This year has actually been like a breakout year for Terrell, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. He's been one of the best players on LIV Golf and just been super consistent, has played well in some of the majors. But Terrell Hatton blew it on 18. He had a chance to win for the second time this year. And John was sitting there at 13 under, which, by the way, Jon Rahm had issues on 17 and 18. Get into that in just a second. Mm-hmm. But Terrell misses a 4.5 5-footer. It was a slider. He had to play it outside the left, and it looked like he might have.
It was a super slider.
He might have. Kind of like that.
Little willy wiper.
So when that happens, and you swipe it on a left to right breaker, it's not going to go well. And Tyrell Hatton goes to the paint. So that was a rough one for Terrell. And then John, because he's standing right there, doesn't know what to do, right? And I hate the propaganda from the announcers and everything. They kept saying, oh, people say there's no emotion or any pressure or anything to this. Look at Jon Rahm, he's so emotional. John did this. Okay? Comes back up. Hey, I didn't see tears. I didn't see tears.
I saw some water.
It looked like a little bit of, oh gosh, I need to react and I can't be happy right now because I just won, but my teammate, Terrell Hatton, just blew it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that weird dynamic to LIV Golf. And then poor Terrell, he misses that putt, right?
Yeah.
Finishes T2 and doesn't even get on the podium because guess who? Cameron Smith and Joaquin Neiman finished before him, coming in at 13 under or 12 under. Sorry.
What happens if he makes it? Right?
Playoff.
I thought he wins.
No, it's
No,
a
no,
playoff
that's right.
with
He
Rahm.
lost. He lost it by missing it.
Yeah,
So let's say, yeah, okay.
yeah.
What if it was to win and he cashed it? What is Rahm's reaction then? You know.
Well, let's go to a playoff. And Rahm talked about it a little bit in the post-round interview. He said, it would have been nice to go into a playoff with Terrell, but it's also really nice that I get this monkey off of my back, or the elephant, so to speak, because Rahm, you could see it was weighing on him. I mean, when he missed a 3-footer that did not break all that much
Yeah.
on 17 to tie Terrell Hatton.
Yeah.
Okay. Then on 18, rips a drive. Just absolutely destroys it. He's got a gap wedge in his hands. Blocks the shit out of it out to the right, spins back to the right, and he has like a huge putt, which kudos to John Rahm for collecting himself and 2-putting.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a debacle. You would have never heard of the end of
if he
it.
3-putts that.
If he 3-putts that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That would be all over Twitter, especially.
Tough deal.
Real tough. Tough spot. And then Terrell Hatton comes down 18 and didn't hit the best of drives. He was in the rough a little bit, and he didn't hit a great iron shot. It came out a little heavy, didn't quite fly all the way. Gets onto the front portion of the green, and then 3 putts.
Ping.
3 putts for the loss. And does not get on the podium. But good news for them, Terrell still wins quite a bit of money because he's playing on LIV Golf, and he gets some team because team money, he certainly was on the winning team.
He still walked out of there with a couple $1 million.
Certainly did. I mean, it's $4 million for the winner individually. I think you still get like $1 million for a third, which I think that gets broken out. But then for the team won $4 million.
Yeah.
So that gets split amongst the 4 guys.
1.5, 1.3 mil, whatever it was.
Caleb Surratt made a hell of a decision in going to LIV Golf right out of college and literally moving out of his dorm room to go play on LIV Golf, because this kid's now a 4-time team winner.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's $4 million, folks, if you split that all up. So good old Caleb Surratt is doing quite well, but that's pretty impressive that Legion 13, brand new team. Obviously, you got John Rahm.
Yeah.
John Rahm's been very consistent, even though he has underperformed and hasn't won up until this point. But Legion 13, this is their 4th victory.
They're good.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. They're what the 4 aces used to be. And if we're going to talk about the 4 aces, let's talk about the relegation that is looming, because there are 2 4 aces players.
Now, I saw that. What does that mean?
So relegation means you are off of LIV Golf. You get to try to qualify to come back.
Okay.
But so do a bunch of other guys.
Right. So you got to fight for your spot.
Got to fight back. So Greg Norman was talking about it. And like, for instance, last year, a captain of a team could not be relegated. So there was a captain, I believe it was Martin Keimer. He was also coming off of injury, that would have been in that relegation mode.
Gotcha.
That did not happen last year, but apparently it's going to happen this year, which was news to me. I thought captains couldn't be relegated. Greg Norman brought it up and said that if Bubba Watson ends up in that drop zone, which he's currently in right now because he's had a rough year, that he will be relegated. So that's a tough spot. I don't know how this is going to go.
So Bubba might be done.
Bubba's pretty close to being done,
Yeah.
I feel like.
There's Kyle popping in. You missed the whole bit we talked about
We sure did. We talked about it.
your prophecy.
Yeah.
By the way, kudos if you came in a little late. You got a lot of props. You can go back and look at the chat. But
Yeah.
nice job making the cut.
Yeah, great job making the cut. I've always said Kyle's a hell of a player. You know?
Oh, yeah.
When I was with Troon for a hot minute, used to see him playing those Troon events, the inter club stuff, and great playing out of good old Kyle. So shout out to you, Cart Barn guys, on YouTube. And
Big
sure
inter
enough,
club guy. Big inter club guy.
he loves the inter club.
Big inter clubber.
He used to wear the big Aussie hats out there. Loves those. So
Oh, yeah.
great playing. Love that. Okay. Now, Bryson DeChambeau. We're talking about relegation. Let's go back to relegation real quick. I kind of skipped over Bryson, but let's talk about relegation because Pat Perez is right on the edge. And they actually had him in the drop zone in the broadcast during the final round. And then I went onto the website and I made sure that it was up to date. It is. He is just outside of relegation.
Oof. Dodged a bullet.
So far. I mean, we've got 2 events left, I believe, before we start getting into the team championship and individual championships.
He needs to play good. Really good.
He needs to. But like you said, he's in the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
This was a retirement party for him, but I would, you don't want to root against a guy, but you kind of want him to, earn it.
Well, absolutely. I think he wouldn't mind, making a couple million more bucks heading home, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah.
The real surprising one, because he had such a good year last year, is HV3, Harold Varner III.
Yeah.
And he is not playing well this year.
No.
He is right next to Pat Perez, just in the safe zone.
Is it strictly based on playing merit, or is there?
It's points. So it's points based. It's solely on merit, right?
Okay.
So it is points based, and each tournament you get a certain amount of points, and if you finish towards the back end of it, you get 0 points.
Gotcha.
So sure enough, the people right now, the notables, right? Bubba Watson is in the drop zone. Brendan Grace, drop zone. Anthony Kim, drop zone. Mm-hmm. Poor Anthony Kim. Great story, whatever. Has not had a single point this year.
He's going to win.
And Trot Golfer says that, God, I'm struck. Didn't want to cough into the mic, but I fucking did. Here we go. So Trot Golfer says the veterans will rise the last few weeks. We shall see.
Yeah, no, it's not points based like a Stableford at all. But
oh, Chad Gamblin, he's coming back at you with the points based like Stableford.
Yeah,
wow,
no, it's not like that.
There's something that I am not open to or privy to in this information between you and Chad Gamblin. We'll get there at some point at the end of the episode. A lot of pre-senior players on LIV. Anti-LIV brings up great points sometimes. He really does.
Yeah, but I mean, what about like Oosthuizen and is Poulter?
No, there's some great players that are playing on LIV Golf that are top superstars still, in my opinion. Breakout players, and then there's some that, they need, once they hit 50, to find. I wonder if LIV Golf is going to come out with a senior tour.
Aren't there people on the PGA Tour that are doing that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Dickie Bland is a senior tour guy. I mean, he's 50 plus.
Yeah.
He still drove a green that was 303 yards. So good on good old Big Dick there.
Big Dick.
Big Dick just ripping a 303 drive out on LIV Golf. So, the other interesting one was Bryson DeChambeau is still, his international struggles have continued. Yeah. And that is tough to see. He finished 11th place. Still can't seem to play well on international soil. No. And I get it for like an open championship, right? Yeah. But I don't get it on some of these golf courses that are not that far off of like an American style golf course. And I feel like this one that they play in the UK was more of a modern style golf course.
Yeah. It looked kind of firm and fast though, didn't it?
It was. The rough was pretty thick. I mean, it's a tough golf course. We talked about that last week. Now, a lot of people are going to say, which I saw a lot of comments on X around the fact that the golf course was set up really easy. Yeah. And there's some facts behind that. So a lot of the times they weren't playing from the back tees. They'd moved them up quite a bit because they want entertainment, right? I mean, that's one of the big things. They want to see guys go low. They want to see, and that was, by the way, another thing that LIV Golf and their broadcasters really kind of screwed the pooch on, because after the first round, John Rahm was interviewed because John Rahm came out, and I believe he shot 63 that first round, if I'm not mistaken, and a few others shot really, really well, like 8 under, 7 under, 6 under, 5 under. Like, there were a lot of low rounds, and this is a really tough golf course on paper. So, of course, what did, like, Leanne Hang and whatever their names are, actually ask. Well, they were interviewing and they were asking, you know, how does it feel? Like, are you surprised that so many guys played so well today and shot so low on a really difficult golf course? And like Rom did not he didn't mince words. He was like, we've got some of the best players in the world. Like, of course we're going to shoot low golf rounds, even on difficult golf courses.
Yeah.
Like it was, there were some testy response. Paul Casey had a testy answer as well to those questions. So
do you think they're wrong? I don't think they're wrong.
No, I think they were annoyed being asked those questions because too often, and this is one of the mistakes by the broadcast team with LIV Golf, is that they buy too much into what's being said on social media about LIV Golf.
Yeah.
They're buying into the negative rhetoric, and that is the problem where I was getting sick of it. I literally couldn't stand listening to them, so I started freaking muting the TV again because they kept talking about, especially what's his face. Oh, God, I can't believe I just forgot his name. Oh, he's the worst. One of the broadcasters. You got Arlo White. You've got Faraday. No, it's the other one. Who am I thinking of? Oh, shoot. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Wish I could help.
He would. I'm at a loss right now. I cannot remember his damn name. I can picture his face right now. But anyways,
well, the comment
somebody's going to comment and throw his name in here, and I'll continue on with that. But he just kept saying, you know, everybody says that Jerry Foltz. Thank you, Nick Nowitzki from X. So Nick Nowitzki,
Jerry,
really appreciate that. So Jerry Foltz just keeps feeding into the rhetoric and the narrative, and they keep trying to overcome it. And it's just it's so annoying.
Just don't. You know it's false. Why are you still buying into these idiots? The comment keeps getting made, there's 5 good players on the LIV Tour. Well, that's not true. And it's just a shot that people keep throwing out there, and we're 2 years into this deal, and it's just fucking false. It's false. Come on.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. The thing is with Jerry Foltz, it's just dude, stop. He is a mouthpiece for what that entire organization is trying to get out there.
Right. And
it's just propaganda. It's just man, I can't stand just talk about what good is happening at the event.
He's like the Johnny Miller of LIV.
Worse. I actually like Johnny Miller because Johnny Miller, he wasn't afraid to say things that pissed off golfers.
Yeah.
Jerry Foltz doesn't do that. He's just the mouthpiece for LIV. And he's just constantly trying to overcome the negative things that are said on social media about LIV. And it's just over and over and over and over and over again. It's man, just talk about how good LIV Golf really is. It's fine.
That, Jerry.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's keep it moving, keep it grooving.
Where are we at here?
Swanee style segment. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I sent you a picture. I'm going to show it to you right now as well.
Oh.
What do you think of Team USA's outfits this week that were designed by Jay Lindenberg?
Isn't that a Swedish company?
It sure is. So we had a non-American company, which Polo with Ralph Lauren used to or has done a lot of the Ryder Cup stuff and everything. Why did we go Jay Lindenberg for the Olympics?
Well, have you watched the opening ceremony and all the political innuendos that are going on?
Oh my God!
There's the answer to your question.
I saw a man's nutsack during the opening ceremony.
It is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. You know, we got LeBron out there carrying the torch, probably the most America-hating dude. Been very vocal about it. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's why. There's no way we could wear an American clothing brand. We've been instructed by the committee. Everything that we're going to do.
What do you think about these? I'm showing Butsy a picture of the outfits for the 4 days. What do you think of this day 4?
It looks like Euro trash.
Oh, it's bad.
It looks
the last day is real bad.
It looks like Euro trash.
Do you think that when Jay Lindenberg got contracted with this, he's like, How can I make them look super douchey?
Yes. How can I make them look like European tour players circa 2004?
It even day one with the red.
Yeah. It doesn't scream America.
Do you see the shoes?
It's a bastardization. Yeah. Just.
That's rough, man. So these guys got to wear it. Like they got to go out there. Now, Michael Jordan, when he was part of the Dream Team,
Yeah.
and he refused to show the Reebok logo. So when they got their gold medals, he put the U.S. flag over the Reebok logo. Because he refused to wear it, but they forced him to wear it, and then he's like, absolutely not. So, yeah. I think Colin Morikawa was probably going to look fine in it. Dylan Vaudry said so much foo-foo shit in the Olympics. You know, I normally love watching the Olympics, and this year, for whatever reason, call me busy with a whole bunch of shit right now, but I just have not been into it. I actually popped it on the TV for a hot second today, and I'm just like, it was U.S. water polo. I'm just like, I can't watch this shit.
It just looks like a hotbed for leftist propaganda. I don't care which side of the spectrum you fall on. I mean, I think, yeah.
It was tough. Now, outside of the U.S., so I'm taking it that you're not a fan of the U.S. team outfits.
No.
Yeah, neither am I. The one thing that I will ask you is, which country's colors do you like the most?
I mean, I like our colors the most. Honestly.
Red, white, and blue.
I like red, white, and blue. Yeah.
You know, I'm not the biggest red fan, but I am big blue fan. So I would say I actually like the blue from the UK side. And Great Britain, whatever, yeah.
You better be careful saying that.
I know, and that's fine.
You're gonna get lit up by these folks, dude.
I'm sorry.
You like the color. You like the color.
I like red, white, and blue, but I'm not a red fan. I'm just not a red fan. So it is what it is. I like blue and gold. That's why I like UK, Great Britain, that type of shit. But yeah,
All right. He likes it first.
That's why I threw that question in there, because I had a feeling you were going to go USA and I was going to be the antagonist there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Now I'm all fired up and pissed off.
Yeah. Now
not at you, just
in life.
the whole thing. Not life. Life's good.
Olympics.
Olympics.
All right. So 2024 Paris Olympics golf preview.
Fucking
Let's get
dog
out of
shit.
let's get out of the whole opening ceremony bullshit that took place. And I love France. I've been to Paris. I like a lot of people say that the French hate Americans. No, the French hate poor Americans. That's what it is. If you've got class and style, they like you. They treat you like gold. But if you show up in a wife beater over in fucking Paris, they're going to take you out. They're going to let you know that you're a piece of shit and you probably beat your wife, which is not okay.
They don't like trash.
No, absolutely not. So, Trot Golfer, I'm going to throw this up there for you right off the bat as we're talking about the Paris Olympics. Trot Golfer says the Swedes are winning this week. So Trot Golfer is one of our audience members who has gotten 2 picks right in a given week. I don't know whether he's having a seizure, but Butsy's face is transformed in multiple directions, and I'm afraid he might need to go to the hospital.
No,
he might have just gotten paralyzed in the face. All right.
Just fighting a stroke. That's how you get rid of it.
Yeah, the golf course, LIV Golf National, which is behind us if you're watching on the YouTube channel and watching live. But on the podcast version, just know that LIV Golf National is right behind us. And here's the thing. With the Ryder Cup of 2018, they played the same exact golf course. Now, with that said, Rory McIlroy was asked.
Oh, I saw that.
During his press conference, his media day for the Olympics, they said, "Hey, how's the rough? Is it as bad as it was during the 2018 Ryder Cup?" He goes, "Well, I didn't really experience the rough much, so you might as well ask the Americans about that."
Shut the fuck up, Rory.
I knew you were going to have a tough time with that one.
I wasn't in the rough match.
You are not a fan of Rory McIlroy, and you are not a fan of that comment by Rory.
Shut the fuck up, Rory. God.
Oh, Rory.
Yeah, got him good, man.
Got him.
Yeah, they were in the rough. I wasn't. Yeah.
I mean, they did kick the shit out of us, but that's besides the
don't care.
point. Scotty Scheffler, he actually did have some analysis to that question. He said the rough is not nearly as penal as it was, and by the way, he said penal, as it was for the Ryder Cup. Right now, the golf course is not nearly as firm either, so there's going to be some lower scores out there.
I think so, too.
In good old Paris. I don't think they set it up as difficult as a Ryder Cup or as like an Open Championship style. Obviously, that hasn't been there for an Open Championship, but just saying, if they were to set that type of style up.
Well, let's see what happens, coming up. That could change.
The question of the day, which was part of the entire Twitter feed today and so forth, which I got called out because of using a hook type of headline, which if you know anything about media, a hook headline is something that's going to grab your attention, right? It's not something that is necessarily factual or correct. So I got called out when saying, should LIV golfers have been picked for the U.S. Olympic team? No, there were not picks. It was based off of official world golf rankings. So obviously we know that, but it makes it more provocative to say picked.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you
Especially
think
when you don't qualify for world golf ranking and you probably belong there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think LIV golfers should have been in the U.S. Olympic team?
Well, it just depends on what, like you said, what the pick is based on. If it's world rankings and that was established a long time ago and nobody's changed that, then probably not. Do I think that there's LIV players that should be there based on how much better they are than some of the other people that are there? For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple things here. So Nick Nowitzki asked, what course is it? Which it is right behind us, Le Golf National. So they played the 2018 Ryder Cup there over in Paris, just outside of Paris. And then Trot Golfer is asking us, how's Wyndham sitting with you guys on the U.S. team? So here's the thing. When it comes to should LIV golfers have been on the U.S. Olympic team, you look at the main two guys on LIV Golf, which is Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka, the two Americans that could they have helped the U.S. team? And for me, Bryson DeChambeau doesn't play well on international golf courses.
I knew you were going to say that for sure. I'm with you there.
So I'm not torn up about Bryson DeChambeau not being on the U.S. Olympic team. Now, official world golf rankings were how they were always going to do it from the Olympics going back to Rio. So am I all of a sudden like distraught that no LIV golfer qualified because they lost out on official world golf ranking points? No, I'm really not. And for anybody that's like, oh, Bryson should be in there, he should be in there, look at his track record on international golf courses. It's not good.
No.
So,
like at all.
Now the question mark comes in because we, by the way, and when I say we, U.S. golf, we have the most amount of players out of any other country.
Yeah.
Because of how many guys were in the top 7 for the official world golf ranking. So we have 4 players. Every other team basically has 2. We've got Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, and Wyndham Clark. And Wyndham Clark is a little bit of a question mark coming into this. Obviously, he had a hell of a year last year, which pushed him up in terms of the official world golf rankings and allowed him to be a part of this Olympic team.
He reminds me of he's like the new Justin Thomas, if you will.
Interesting.
Started out hot. They did a pretty good job promoting him as such, and then he's lulled.
Wyndham's got...
You like Wyndham.
I do like Wyndham because his game is really, really good. And remember, he won Pebble this year. Like, it's
True.
not like the guy hasn't played good golf this year. It just happened at the beginning of the year, and then he's had a rough stretch. So could the Olympics be the moment to where Wyndham breaks out once again?
I don't think so.
It'll be interesting because this golf course is set up for, to me, it's set up for accuracy. I remember the 2018 Ryder Cup because the European squad really made it fit their games versus the U.S. side to where you couldn't just go out there and bomb the ball. And I will say that the U.S. team has some good opportunities to win this week. I don't know if that's going to be Wyndham, but I do think he's going to have a decent week. I don't think he's going to struggle like most people think.
Are
Like,
there odds?
there are odds, and I will get to that at the end of this.
I didn't
yeah.
know. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go over all the odds towards the end. But I'm not going to go out there and say that Wyndham is going to finish in the top 5.
Okay.
Okay. I would probably give him a top 20 out of 60,
That's probably fair.
which that puts him up in the, top 33%. What percentage is that? I don't know. But I think Wyndham's going to do all right. I don't think he's going to play terrible, and I don't think that Wyndham Clark, to me, doesn't deserve to be there.
Trot does not agree with you. On
Trot does not at all.
No, he thinks
Trot,
he might
Trot
not
just threw up there.
break $150 for 2 days.
I disagree.
You should bet him.
I will bet you on that one.
You should bet him.
Yeah, 30% is correct. I'm not a mathematician. That's why I never caddied. Actually, I have caddied, but I was terrible with the yardages.
Yeah, no.
Terrible with the yardages. That being said, we have 4 versus any other country. I think we're going to have a winner out of this group. I'm not going to get into the picks yet because we do have our picks at the very, very end. But LIV Golf, so the golfers that are playing from LIV Golf that had enough world golf ranking points and their countries were terrible enough to where they were the only options. John Rahm, Joaquin Neiman, Carlos Ortiz, David Puig.
Puig. Okay.
I always thought it was Puig. It's Puig.
Puig.
Abraham Answer. What a terrible way to pronounce your name, by the way. Puig.
Yeah, Puig.
Adrian Moronk and Mito Pereira. Yeah. 60 players are playing in total in this Olympics games. Okay.
Interesting.
Now, once again, it was based off of official world golf rankings. And remember, back when they played at Rio for the very first time that the golf was back in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, there were guys, the top 4 players in the world did not go.
Right.
They're like, nah, that's cool.
Who was there? Fowler was there, right?
Fowler was there. That's when Fowler got the tattoo.
Of the
the Olympic symbol there.
big Olympian,
the rings.
Big Olympian guy.
Especially after that. But Spieth, Rory, Jason Day, and Dustin Johnson did not go and play in Rio. Times have changed.
Curveball here.
Now
I still
everybody wants to
don't
play.
know if golf should be in the Olympics, but hey.
I do. I like it. I just don't like the fact that it's individual.
Yeah.
I would like to see it as a team event.
Yeah.
And actually, Ben On from Team South Korea with Tommy Kim actually said the same thing. He's like, I would like to see kind of a team aspect to this rather than it being just individual. Like, yeah, we're here together. We're wearing our country's
Every
clothes.
other event at the Olympics a team event?
Mainly, but there are some that, are, you have multiple people, like think of track and field, for instance, right?
Yeah.
You've got individuals that are multiple USA team members. Fuck me running. I can't even think. That are actually playing for a medal themselves.
Yeah.
As an individual when they should be a team. Fuck. Now, as we do talk about this, I do want to give, because I do remember at the time, Jordan Spieth in particular, he was very much so against going to the Olympics, not because he didn't want to be in the Olympics. It was because him and his wife were going to try to get pregnant, and Zika virus was a really big deal.
Oh, the
at that
Zika.
time.
I forgot about the Zika.
Yeah. And granted, if you got Zika, there were problems with pregnancies and all that stuff. So Jordan Spieth decided to stay. I remember that from his team, actually, at the time. So I think Dustin Johnson kind of came out with something similar. He's like, I think that, I'll just follow Jordan Spieth.
I can't get Zika because it don't affect people like me.
Yeah, you can't get it in your nose.
Can't get Zika out there, and I got a way to bust it out. Was that also? Was that another release of an illness pre-election?
I think so. I think it was. Now, Jason Day,
God, Zika,
who did not go then, and he actually is in it this year for Team Australia. He made a statement saying that he made a mistake skipping that Olympics. He didn't realize how important the Olympics really is. And so good on him for making that claim. The women were all about it. All the women were like, we're going.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Jordan missed out on the only chance that he had to get an Olympic medal in his lifetime. I think that's probably...
Man, do you think his game is just gone now or what? Do you think we're going to see a Jordan Spieth resurgence?
Yeah, I do. I mean, look, he was better than Vegas ever was when he was hot, right?
Good point.
And if anybody's going to come back and have another run, I mean, how old is Jordan now?
30,
Yeah,
31.
So, yeah, probably here the next couple of years we're going to see a resurgence, at least for a few events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some notable international teams outside of the U.S. squad that I announced. Team Ireland is Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry. Gotta love them. Great Britain is Tommy Fleetwood, and no, he's not Matthew. It's Matt Fitzpatrick. We've got Team Chile, Joaquin Niemann and Mito Pereira. Team South Korea, which is I'm a fan favorite of Team South Korea.
You like them.
Good old Tommy Kim and Ben On. It's too bad Siwoo Kim is not a part of that squad.
Yes.
Team Australia with Jason Day and Minwoo Lee. That's pretty solid. Team Spain, John Rahm and David Puig. Team Mexico and Carlos Ortiz and Abraham Answer. By the way, did you know Abraham Answer has a tequila? Very good.
I think a lot of them do, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, and then we've got good old Team Canada. So we just talked about the country south of us. This is the country north of us. For those of you that are not, majors in
who's on
geography.
Canada, eh?
Nick Taylor and Corey Connors. Great stuff there. Team Sweden is Ludvig Åberg and Alex Noren. That's a sleeper right there, which I'm not going to say that because Track Golfer's in love with Team Sweden, and he is in love with Ludvig Åberg. But for good reason.
Yeah.
And here's why. I'm actually going to give you a shout out here, Trot, because that's a really smart choice in a team, and especially Ludvig, because this is a golf course and normally you have to be pretty accurate with, okay? And you have to be accurate off the tee. Ludvig hits the ball a long way and is one of the most accurate drivers of the golf ball. So clearly he's going to have a pretty good week this week. So I like that. And then Alex Noren is just underrated. That guy can absolutely play. So we'll see if Team Sweden can do what they do. But here's the betting odds for the week. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Scotty Scheffler plus 350. Xander Schauffele plus 550. Rory McIlroy plus 750. Colin Morikawa plus 1,000. John Rahm is also plus 1,000. Ludvig Åberg is plus 1,400. Tommy Fleetwood is plus 2,000. Joaquin Niemann plus 2,200. Victor Hovland plus 2,500. Tom Kim is plus 2,800. Shane Lowry is plus 2,800. Corey Connors and Alex Norwin are plus 3,300. Hideki Matsuyama is plus 4,000. Sepp Straka, 4,500, plus 4,500. Ben On is plus 5,000. Matt, not to be confused with Matthew. Fitzpatrick is plus 5,000. Thomas Dietrich is plus 6,000. Minwoo Lee is plus 6,000. Wyndham Clark plus 7,000, along with Jason Day. And I just cut it off at that because I'm like, and actually the guy right after that is Matthew Pavon.
Okay.
The Frenchman.
I'm glad you left him out, but he got a shout out.
Yeah, he gets it anyways. So who you like for your pick this week for the goddamn Olympics in Paris?
I'm going to go with your guy. You've been kind of, maybe this is where it happens, but Morikawa.
Wow, you stole him away. which that's a great pick. A lot of people are saying Colin Morikawa this week.
Yeah.
Because Colin Morikawa, his swing has been really in form, and he is a very accurate ball striker. So Colin Morikawa, very good pick. Very good pick.
Sorry to do that to
That's
you.
okay. That's why I let you go first,
You
because
gotta
I
back
let you
up.
have those moments. I really didn't, because I didn't think you were going to go with Colin Morikawa. So very good there. I'm actually going to go with, I know, it's going to be pretty surprising here, because we're going Ludwig Oberg. Okay. Ludwig Oberg, I am going to call it with Trot Golfer that Ludwig Oberg is going to be your gold medalist. Now, that's not very American out of me, and I get that. So my second player for the Olympics is going to be Xander Schauffele.
Like that.
Okay.
So you did have a backup.
So
You had a backup.
I had a backup to the backup. Don't get it twisted, folks.
Xander might play really good here.
Yeah. All right, we're going to open it up to the Q&A. We can get into a bunch of stuff now in our final segment, which is the live stream Q&A. This normally gets cut for the podcast version, unless it's a very good thing that we just got to include. So let's go back through. What is this whole beef between you and Chad Gamblin around Stableford?
Okay.
I'm curious, and I actually have some whiskey left right now. I took it easy.
Okay. I'm gonna dig into this here. So we play in this event every year called the Mark Melee up in Prescott. It's a fun deal. A lot of booze gets consumed out there. It's
Love
a
that.
2-day event. All the guys pretty much stay together. It's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of fun. In that group of guys, there's probably 4% of the whole field. I think there's 40 guys now, so it's grown quite a bit over the past few years, but that can break like 90. So
Really?
in the golf course, they need us off the golf course in 5.5 hours, which you would think if you institute some rules and keep people going and just really remind people, hey, we need to get out of there, you'd be good. But we finished in the dark. There's 2 rounds one day. Just really, really slow, and we haven't been able to keep within those time constraints. So Chad, now this is after, mind you, that everybody has already signed up
Yeah.
and is in. An email came out notifying the field that we would be changing the format in an effort to speed up play to a Stableford format, which obviously caused an uproar.
Oh, no.
Now
You
it's
hate
like-
to see it.
That's not real golf, blah, blah, blah. And the whole,
You don't like Stableford?
no, no, I don't. I want to go and play.
You're not a big Eagle guy?
I want to play my ball out. Like, if I make a double on a hole, okay, well, what am I going to shoot? I got to grind back. Like, I got to play. Now, I understand there's some guys that play golf and this is their once a year that they play golf, and they're going to shoot 120. So his goal is that you don't get a point if you make bogey or worse. So those guys will hopefully just pick up and move to the next hole, and somehow that's going to speed up play. My disagreement with him is that it's slow people are going to be slow, whether you let them take 2 less shots a hole or not. And I think the primary issue here in play is that people are just getting absolutely shit-faced, blackout drunk and going over, and you got guys talking to each other and holding shit up and having conversations. And like the last thing I think the issue is whether or not a guy doesn't have to walk across the green to play another shot. So,
Wow.
yeah. But, yeah. And it's not just me, by the way. It's just, I'm just the only one
Chad's
that.
throwing you straight under the bus. Said you were the only one bitching.
No, I'm not. Through the
Okay.
grapevine, I am not the only one bitching. I'm just the only one that's just going to tell you about it.
There you go.
But, yeah, so anyways, I'm not really that mad. I'm more just, Chad and I do this a lot. We'll just argue, just to argue.
I'm still surprised you're not a Stableford guy. I feel like you're a guy that could eagle a par 5.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And that's a big game changer in Stableford. Not the same in a regular stroke play event.
Well, I won the event last year. Low gross.
So you want to make sure that
I want to go.
everything stays the same. Where do you guys play in Prescott?
We play Antelope
Antelope Hills, yeah.
Yeah.
Love Antelope Hills.
So,
Wow.
yeah, big uproar.
Good stuff.
At least half the field has reached out to me asking if I could.
Trot said Chaparral Pines looked really amazing. So And it did.
It is.
I mean, I keep seeing you post stuff out there, and I'm like, I love that track. That's a great track.
We'll see. Might be headed back up there Saturday. Might have a spot. So
Who knows? We do have the mics now. We are officially ready whenever you are.
yeah, we're YouTube golfers now.
Yeah, we're going to be YouTube golfers. Now that there's an event that is invested by the PGA Tour, Butsy and I are officially announcing we're coming back to YouTube as golfers
Yeah.
and entertainers.
Yeah, no, yeah. We're taking over YouTube.
Now, Trot Golfer, you also did say LIV players are now able to go directly back to the PGA Tour tomorrow. How many go back? Wait,
What
where
the fuck is that?
So while Butsy was going on his rant about the whole Stableford
You
thing,
asked me to.
I did, and it actually bought me some time because I went
That's why
on.
you let me go.
I went on. I went on to the Google, and I did a little search, and I'm not seeing anything about this. So I don't know. Oh, it's just a question. So if they could go back tomorrow, how many go? It's just a question. Okay. Thank you, Trot Golfer, for clarifying there. You had me in an absolute scramble. I'm like, what just came out while we're on air? Like, what am I missing right now? I literally was about to lose my mind if that actually just took place.
He's like, it's just a question.
So how many people go back if they were able to go back tomorrow?
20%.
Well, like who, though? Who do you think? John Rahm would go back.
Henrik.
Henrik
I
Stenson?
think he would probably care to play a few more tour events. I think
You know-
Poulter.
You know who wouldn't go back? Cam Smith. Cam Smith loves LIV Golf.
I think he would play tour events if given the opportunity, if he was allowed to.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
He loves just
Chilling.
he loves these hiatuses that they go on. That was another thing that I forgot to bring up. Because once again, LIV Golf finally got my attention back with this LIV Golf UK event. And I was watching on Sunday. I was watching every moment. And all of a sudden they announce afterwards, all right, we're going to see everybody back in 3 weeks at the Greenbrier. And I'm like,
No.
motherfucker. Like, yeah, I get we have the Olympics, but then we got to go another week off. They just, in my mind, and if I'm feeling this way, other people have to feel this way.
Yeah.
Like, I get that it might not be the majority of LIV Golf fans, but I'm just like, man, you're losing so much momentum with me. Like, it's going to be tough for me to get locked back in to the Greenbrier, which is actually a place that I've played before.
Yeah, or at least do like some little Shell's Wonderful World of Golf aside type deals where if there's 6 weeks off, maybe 4 of the guys are going out to play a match or something, and that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. At
God,
least
this
something.
lighting is good tonight.
I keep enjoying it. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, how we look over here.
Yeah. And Dylan's right. And here's the thing. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the first 2 seasons of LIV Golf and actually see what was the schedule like. But this year, for some reason, it just feels so slow and long. And Dylan is in agreement that it is hard to stay invested. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one. And I know you've talked about this with me as well, that it has not been the easiest thing to do.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah. If I know it's every week like the PGA Tour, then I know come Friday, Saturday, I can pop on my phone. Hey, you know what? What's going on with the golf this week? And then you pop on to check out LIV, and you're like, oh, I guess they don't play for 3 more weeks. And then it's just not even part of your mental news cycle anymore. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You hate to see it.
I've wanted to check back in and see, and just had such bad look at when I choose to do that it seems like they're always on a break, and I haven't caught any of it. I'm like, oh, okay.
I watch it
Yeah.
every single event, but I'll tell you, it takes me a little while to get into it. Like Valderrama, it took me a little bit to get into that event. I'm just like, man, this is kind of like such a great golf course.
Yeah.
And I should really be pumped up and excited for it. It just has been way too long. There's been too many breaks in between. I know last year I was bitching when they had a 4-week hiatus. And I was like, or it might have even been 5 weeks. In the middle of the year, they just went 5-week break. And I was like, what other sport? Like, what other major sport does this? And it's actually funny because Lance Bennett, Tiger's caddy, he chimed in and was like, Formula One. And I was like, okay, there's one.
Yeah, but there's not two Formula Ones. Like, if there was a Formula One that was weekly and one that wasn't, then it wouldn't be that way. I mean, Formula One is just kind of, that's what you got, and you watch it when it's on. But there's an alternative product. And this is why I think it would be cool if they would just fucking merge so that when they do have, if they had these breaks and 20 of the guys or 15 of the guys or even 10 on LIV where you're going to guarantee you're going to see them in that week's tour event.
Yeah, Nick.
All right, cool. I'm a fan of it. So, and let's see how they do this week on tour.
Nick brought it up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's liked their events this season, but he just needs more of them. And that's the thing. Like, but that was also the pitch. We have to remember that was the pitch to the players that, hey, you're not going to have this long drawn out schedule like you did on the PGA Tour. We're going to give you a ton of time away from golf, ability to go be with your families and everything. And I think that was a big selling point in the beginning to a lot of these golfers that went over. But I think a lot of guys realized, shit, in order to keep my game like ready to go and in form, I need to be playing more.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of these guys play in DP World Tour events.
Yeah.
So,
Because there are guys out there that still take professional golf very seriously.
Chad Gamblin, wow,
saw that
coming at it strong there.
I got him heated up, dude.
Yeah,
I
you
heated
did.
up his boxers, bro. Now he's all fired up.
And then Dylan Voldry said, I have to admit, only check in to see how AK does each week. Still watch all the PGA Tour events, though.
I do the same thing, bro. I literally hop on just to be like, please blow my nuts back here. Let me see him shoot 8 under and be in the top 10.
I am waiting for him to start putting together a good round or two. It just hasn't happened.
I
yet.
asked him to be on the pod. You know?
I did too.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with him on
He's
X.
pretty decent about that. Yeah. He got back to the DM. He said, in the future, I'm just really grinding right now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, his to me was that Country Club Adjacent had just done an interview with him. And he was like, I just did one with them, which, by the way, they are kind of certified as a media outlet with LIV Golf.
Yeah.
So technically we are not right now.
What do we got to do?
So I'll figure it out.
Okay.
And hopefully, because we had 2 interviews lined up towards the end of this year after LIV Golf season is over. And I'm afraid that, as one player in particular has gotten, not to say a player that
Sure.
but the other player, or the other players, I should say, I have a feeling that they're not being allowed. They're not getting sign off on it.
You think they have to get approval?
So it was a yes early on this year.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
And now it is, hey, we need to make sure that everything's okay on our end.
Was it something we said?
Not us. No. They need to make sure that it is okay with LIV Golf. So we shall see.
Okay. We'll have our people talk to their people.
We will definitely have our people talk to their people, and hopefully their people like our people, and our people will all of a sudden.
The people can, yeah.
Now, here's a really good point, okay? Trot does bring up that good old PP doesn't need approval for shit, or does he? So if he gets relegated,
Maybe in light of where he's at and in his standing, he might be a little more concerned about.
yeah, I think so. I mean, he wants to be in their good graces
Yeah.
because, yeah, that's a tough spot to be.
Millions of dollars on the line.
Yeah. And with everything going on in his life, too. Like, I don't even know if I would want him to come on because he's been through so much over the past 2 years
Yeah.
that it's just like, and actually a year and a half, if you think about it.
Well, you
It's
don't
like,
want to be
holy
responsible for anything being said that.
No.
Yeah. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah. For
so
sure.
it is what it is. Anything else that the audience would like to discuss or go over?
Anytime. Maybe not. Did cut his hair. Yeah.
Oh, that was a while back, though.
Yeah,
That was a couple
yeah,
months ago.
Yeah. It looks good.
I kind of like the little,
You
like
were-
the faux hawk that went on.
What happened? You were chasing that dream for a second.
It's still there,
You got it like blow dried down right now.
but I will say that I'm due for a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to grow out. I think we went a little too short the last time
Mm-hmm.
and a little too faux hockey. So I want to get back to kind of the fuller mullet. So I've kind of held off. But man, the blow dry job today and this lighting is incredible.
We're with it. Yeah. We are CNN tonight. For
Here in Paris.
Yeah.
Now, if Butsy and I were an actual news broadcast on, let's say, any of the major sports channels, this is how it would go. You ready for this, everybody? So we're about to do our impersonation of us actually being in Paris, France for the Olympics and doing an analysis.
What?
Welcome, everybody, to the Olympics. This is NBC Sports. I'm Matt Cook. This is The Butsy. And tonight we are here at LIV Golf National in Paris, France for the Olympics.
My name's Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Jeff, what is your thoughts on good old Colin Morikawa from the United States team having to wear Jay Lindenberg and his pants not fitting properly?
Colin looked nice.
And back to you, Tony.
You did this, bro, not me. Oh, shit. You did this, not me. You can't be throwing decisions.
That's great.
Oh.
Yeah, Jeff. Why go with the name Jeff, though?
You seen the movie?
Which movie?
Is it 21 Jump Street or whatever when Channing Tatum
Oh, God,
he
yes.
plays like his
Yes.
impaired friend?
Yes.
And he's like,
My name's Jeff.
Now, Tron says, where's Dan, Butsy?
Dan, so there's an application that I use to produce Dan, and that application decided to take Dan out of the application for like 3 months. Well, I just checked the other day, and Dan has returned. So
Wow.
I did film a lot of Dan.
I think that's where I thought of going live as a major sports platform and from the Olympics because you've been posting so much of the anchor stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
I
that's
let you
okay.
down big time.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're like,
it's this is getting cut anyways. So, I mean, this is just part of the live stream at this point. How many? I can't even see. How many people do we even have on at this point?
like 1,100.
Oh, fuck.
Nobody wants to like or.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
Which, by the way, everybody who is listening, watching right now, make sure to hit like. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast.
Do it.
Because that is going to keep us going. Because we love the attention.
Do it.
We love the likes.
Yeah, likes make a guy feel good, especially in today's day and age, you know?
We love this.
Ah, it
Nice
is.
little. There it
Man.
is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Nice little like.
Real nice.
I personally love the hearts. When there's
Yeah.
a heart, love that.
Can people like gift on here too?
I don't know.
Can they like send gifts and shit? That'd
That would be
fucking badass, dude.
fantastic.
Hell yeah.
I think Kyle would have been all over that already.
Yeah.
He's a big, if he responds in the comments, I've seen it on Instagram, Kyle Cart Barn Guys, he will throw in a nice little GIF. It's a GIF. Did you know that? With a G. GIF
That's how
with
you
a
say
G.
it.
Yeah.
I knew that
I
right
always
away.
called it with a GIF.
I mean, I like peanut butter.
And I like jelly.
What kind of whiskey you got there tonight?
This is a Texas rye, okay? And I'll tell you this much. It has about 20% more alcohol percentage than any other bottle that I have.
You know, I can
it's
tell.
like 78%.
I can always tell when you got a strong one over there because you do a lot more.
It doesn't go down as smooth or as easy,
You can always tell the body's like, no.
but it gets you in the game. It really does. Gets you into the flow state to where you don't even know. I'd leave some of these episodes, Butsy, going, "What the fuck did I say tonight?" I don't
That's
even
a good thing.
Sometimes I don't even remember the picks.
I think that's usually when things go well.
Yeah, I love that.
I'll be getting into it Thursday night for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to having some cocktails, rolling some putts, doing some interviews.
Trot
Putting
golf,
world.
Trot golfer. I think this is a compliment you're throwing at us. You guys are great, so good. Todd Batt wants Dan back. We want Dan back.
You know who Dan is.
Who's Dan?
Golf Shop Dan.
Wait,
You don't know what Golf Shop Dan is?
hang on a second. Is that a skit that you've done?
Yeah, it's like a voiceover.
Yeah.
So I worked in a pro shop for years,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, yeah, you'd have to. I'll send you a couple of them. But like Trot said, I haven't made one in a while, and we have some that we'll be dropping soon.
My favorite one of your Instagram account is when you're on the range behind some guy just waiting on him,
Oh,
and you're just talking so much good shit.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so good.
oh yeah.
You're asking him questions, getting to know him.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
How long, you
Yeah.
you play on tour, stuff like that. How long you've been this good? Yeah.
just bothering them up.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And then you're on fire tonight. You can have members on YouTube. I do have more followers than Pull Hook Golf. You haven't set it up.
Well,
Oh,
we got some work to do, don't we?
yeah. Holy shit, Trot.
What is that thing?
What do I got? We've got about 5,000 followers on. So what are members on YouTube? Do you know what members are on YouTube?
That's got to be like having subscribers maybe on Instagram. I'm not really sure. I don't do a ton with YouTube. I probably should.
We're about to.
Yeah, I mean,
We're about to launch a new channel.
it's been a big miss for a while for me not to do it. It's got to be right.
Yeah, it's just got to feel right. It's got to be right, and we now have the mics and everything set up. We're ready to go.
Is there a Bob Does Sports vid coming out?
Oh, here we go.
I
Dylan
don't know.
Beaudry.
I don't know. You gotta ask them. They filmed it all. That would be cool. Not sure though if that, or we're gonna probably have to do another one maybe.
I definitely think. Oh, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, we could do that for sure.
Because you think about that, and I think they would love to get a piece of us.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who. Fat and who. I mean, we would absolutely.
We'd
just
go 5-ball.
destroy them.
We'd go 5-ball.
Oh, okay.
3 versus 2.
3-on-2, and then maybe we give them pops.
Dylan says he's been chirping in their comments.
Yeah, that doesn't do any good.
I did see one, and I don't know what the deal with it was. I got tagged in it, and I just liked it immediately.
Yeah.
It was of cold cuts making a hole in one, but I don't think it was speaking highly of them after I had already liked it.
Oh, yeah. Not sure.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, God knows how many tries that took, but it was pretty.
Oh,
cool
here
to
we
see.
go. What do you guys think about the hole-in-one celebration from Bob Does Sports Dudes? You need a player for that. I'm in. 3-on-3, I think that would be unfair. Butsy and I versus the 3 of them, I think, that could be interesting.
Yeah, especially if
Fat would have to play really well.
and they maybe a scramble format for them.
You know what? I think that would actually be more fair.
Yeah,
Is if they were scramble. Would it be scramble against our best ball or scramble?
scramble against our best ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that would be fair.
yeah.
I think they'd actually have a shot in that.
After playing with them, I'd say that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and I've played with them as well.
Yeah.
I played with them with Mikey, and that, yeah.
Well,
All right.
what time we got here?
I think that wraps it up. 8:30.
Yeah, fuck.
I think
That went quick tonight.
great times.
Damn.
Fast times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Pull Hook High.
You want to give the NBC Sports deal another go?
No. No. No, but I'll send you Dan if there's a way that
Send me a Dan clip.
if there's maybe you could edit it in where okay. I have an idea. We'll talk about it.
Send
Yeah.
me a Dan clip.
Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Can
It's
you
gonna be
green
fun.
screen me in after the fact? Like if I record as Dan and just answer questions, can you make it to where that's like
We could play it while we're doing a live broadcast. Yeah.
you couldn't make it like that guy?
If you
sitting
send me
there,
a
though.
video, no.
Like cut it in or some shit.
There's some options here, but
We'll see.
Trot really is a fan of Dan. Big fan of Dan.
Some people are. It didn't really take off. A lot of people just don't it doesn't resonate. They don't get it, and I think that's because 95% of the people that are watching golf on Instagram now are new. But you working in the industry, I'm sure a lot of what Dan has to say resonates.
Yeah, I spent a couple years working in the shops out here.
You will love Dan. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll send you some Dan tonight.
Yeah, send me some Dan.
It's
I got to get caught up on the Dan.
It's good shit.
All right, well, let's get into our closing remarks here. So, once again, let's wrap this episode up, and I am really happy with how the lighting went tonight.
Big time.
Big
Step up.
big fan of the lighting. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, you need to go on YouTube and just take a look at the lighting between the last episode to this episode. Night and day different. I invested in some heavy lighting in here,
Oh yeah.
which
Look
really
around, Dan.
really paid off.
Cannot see this, but this place
It
is
is
a
lit up.
factory in here.
It
Yeah.
is lit up. The Pole Hook Studios. And again, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in live, as well as our listeners, as well as our viewers on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever the fuck it is that you got to do in order to be notified that new podcast episodes, new YouTube videos, live streams are coming at you. And follow us on social media. I mean, we're on X. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on all different types of stuff. Yeah,
Etc.
all different types of stuff. So
sir.
make sure to subscribe, like, and quick shout out to our sponsors once again, Swannies Golf. Make sure to use promo code PoleHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order. And folks, we will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. You know it. We show it. Let's rock and roll. Way to go, Butsy. Appreciate you.
Good shit, man. Appreciate you. That was
All right.
fun.
Peace out, everybody.
Adios.